Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan Gheesling. Super excited for this episode of the podcast. Maybe like with Daniel Isaac coming out a little bit late today. Normally comes out at 6 a.m. Part of it is it's kind of the timing of what's going on today. Today is a fairly big day in terms of a lot of planning, and something's finally going to drop. We're going to get to that at the end of the podcast today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you're tuning in from Skokie, Illinois, Anchorage, Alaska, Leeds, UK, or how about Rome or overseas in the boot. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got an interesting episode for you today. Going to be talking a lot about what's been kind of going on behind the scenes, and then also something that's been in the works for probably 6 to 9 months that actually comes out later today. But first and foremost, I want to talk about having a lot of fun planning, and it's definitely some more work, but with Check the Wire. So Check the Wire podcast is the podcast with myself and Northern Line. It comes out every Tuesday, and he's on break for a while because he just had a kid. So I've been rotating in co-hosts, and this past week we had One Shot Girl, aka Julie, and it airs tomorrow on Check the Wire. So it's, Spotify, SoundCloud, all that. And I've just really been enjoying bringing on new people with totally different perspectives, doing different things, and it's kind of like selfishly, it's been really, really good because someone coming from outside the box, like doing new things. Like for example, Julie talked about messing around with Instagram Reels. Just people are doing different things than kind of just being exposed to different things is good. Things that work for them, things that don't. And on top of that, it's also been cool to connect with people. There's been people that, that I'm acquaintances with, or that I've connected with, that I've never kind of like circled back and actually, collaborated with. And it's been a fun time to connect with them as well. So that's been going really well. In terms of also doing like, some stuff, some collaborations is last Tuesday was the first Tuesday with no team unity. Once again, Northern Line's gone. So Malf and I did a duo, like half of a duo stream of Spelunky 2. And I always know that Malf and I, we always, when it's him and I, we work very well together. In terms of like I think on every front. One, in terms of like banter, I think is really good, but also like within a game, like when it's him and I, like he's very analytical, and I'm able to play off of that, meaning that, hey, look, like sometimes you just kind of, you let the pilot be the pilot, and you make sure he's got the right oxygen and that kind of stuff. And we had some really, really fun, interesting Spelunky 2 runs that I feel like if I was doing with anyone but Malf, it probably wouldn't have worked out. In terms of, in this one specific one that we did, one was like, it was like we glitched the game and were able to beat the end boss in a really, really unique way that I'm not sure anyone will ever do again. And it was just fun. So it was cool to be able to do that, because it's really been outside of Team Unity. I do probably like one Twitch collaboration a month, maybe 2 a month max. So it's been cool, because a lot of times Malf and I, it's us on Team Unity, so you don't always get like a ton of time catch up and do that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed that, and I don't know if we're gonna make it a every Tuesday thing, but I'm not saying that either. So it went really well, just to kind of work with someone who you work with a lot, but not one-on-one. And that was cool. Another thing that came out, and really last week was a really interesting week for game launches. There were so many game launches that came out between the Mario Battle Royale, so Mario 35, which is free to play if you have Nintendo Switch Online. And it's a 35-person original Nintendo Mario Battle Royale. It was really cool. So that came out. Star Wars Squadrons came out, which I bought and downloaded but have not played yet. And part of it is like there's so many. It's a really good problem to have. There's so many games out right now that are kind of in our wheelhouse, that it's just it's a fun time, but it's like you got to try to find a way to squeeze them all in. So in terms of the show, like I feel like we're really close on Sekiro and need to wrap that up, and have enjoyed that. But Tarkov, Spelunky 2, I could see Mario Battle Royale getting into the mix, and then we got a horror game on Twitch that is probably going to be the next playthrough. because we play one horror game a year because that's all we can take. So there's just a lot of good stuff going on. So the stream's going really well. And then I've talked about it in a video. I haven't talked about it really at all in the podcast, but it was we finally beat Spelunky 2, and I was shocked when we beat the game. I was getting excited because I saw, my friends in the credits that were in the credits for the first game. And then we got towards the end and then saw our name in the credits. And I don't know, it was just like a really huge surprise. And I was really shocked to see that because I never would have thought that in a million years. And then on top of that, to not have it spoiled by anyone, it was pretty cool. It was just like something that you never really expected to happen. And then for it to happen unspoiled during a stream after we beat Spelunky for the first time was a pretty special moment. Definitely one of the most special moments or most memorable, in terms of things I'll remember on Twitch. It was just a complete shock, but it's very cool that Derek, you did that. I guess my guess was that, it took me I've decompressed from it for 2 weeks. I guess from playing Spelunky 1 a lot towards the end of its life cycle. That would be my guess. So that was good. So that's all kind of the good stuff going on. And then now I'm going to talk about what's going to be happening later on today. And so for the past, I'd probably say 6 to 9 months, I'd just call it 8 months. Wolves at My Door, aka Jay, and I have been talking about doing a merch drop, and I've never done one before. I think for a lot of reasons. One, I don't think that's necessarily in my wheelhouse. Two, I don't know. I just have never done one. I don't. It's I don't want to say it's uncomfortable, but it's definitely not comfortable. Doing something like that because I think for a couple reasons. One, I never ask for people to buy something, and I feel like this is a little bit different, right? So I'm not going to ask anyone to buy this, but I just feel like there was members of the community kept asking for it. I trust Jay. I think Jay's really really slick when it comes to design. I think he makes really clean stuff, and so I think it was time. I wanted to try it, but I was telling Jay last night that I feel about the same amount of comfortability as I did when I casted the Tarkov tournament, and that was hey, you prepare for it, but you just don't know how it's gonna go. A little bit of an air of nervousness, I guess you could say. Not I just don't know how it's gonna go, and really, there's a lot behind it. In terms of the design, I talked to Jay about just kind of doing what he felt looks good. I always like what Jay has done is, so he's always done his own merch drops for probably, I don't know, 5-6 years. He does 1 or 2 a year, and they always are really cool and really different and really unique, and not the typical and not there's anything wrong with it. It's not the typical hey, guy playing video game merch type stuff. Just something that was unique to his community but still look cool, and if you wore it, you knew what it was, but if you saw someone wearing it, you wouldn't be oh, that's a video game shirt or something. Like I said, not there's anything wrong with it. So I was really happy with the design that he came up with, and really it kind of started back when he rebranded the channel. It was kind of hey, let's do this, and then we'll see how this fits together with merch somewhere down the road. And then we went a back and forth a little bit just on some slight design changes, nothing super crazy. I basically just said, hey, look, do what you think would look cool. Here's a few elements, that may be cool that people may like, but it is what it is. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But it kind of gets to the number one, there's a lot of other things we could talk about. So we were on a call yesterday for about an hour talking about just little things titling what each item should be called. What does the description say? What are the pictures of it? Should there be a back print on this one? Are we giving people a back print option on this one? And so just a lot of little things that go into it, a lot of little extra care and detail. And then, we talked a little bit about, because here's my take. Once I kind of got over the fact, I'm hey, look, this is something we've never done. most likely, if it goes well, maybe we'll do one a year. So I'm gonna like go all out in terms of how we want to make sure people know about it, and in terms of like a marketing plan, which it is what it is. But for me, it's like I just don't want, and it'll happen, and I because it is. There's no way to do it perfectly, but I just don't want someone to say, "Hey Dan," like because the merch is gonna be on sale for a week. I just don't want someone to say like 2 weeks from now, being, "Hey Dan, when are you doing merch?" Because ultimately, I look at that as like, oh, I didn't do my job to like let them know, let that individual know that hey, we were doing a merch drop, or that and it's gonna be a while, very long while for the next one. So yeah, so I'm gonna, like, he talked about, hey, should we do like a pop-up on the stream, like a non-intrusive one every time someone buys merch. I'm like, let's do it. And I don't know. My thing is like, I have no expectations of of anything, right? My biggest hope for the merch is that people like it. That's it. Like, I hope it's what people wanted, and I hope that they will enjoy it, and the people that buy it will enjoy wearing it, and that's it. And it's a hard thing to do, right? Because with a Twitch show or a playthrough or a video, like, you can like be malleable, right? Like, you can, hey, if this isn't going well, like, you can kind of feel it and you change games, or you don't do this kind of video anymore. With this is like, there's been so much planning involved in terms of the design, where it's being manufactured, how it's shipping, what's including with the shipping, what kind of special extras are we doing with, like, it's already set. So if people don't like it, like, there isn't a whole lot that can be done at that point, to fix it. So we just kind of, and it's such a totally different thing than I'm used to, because I like, kind of the feedback loop of like, all right, hey, this went well, this didn't, let's make a change quickly and let's go. With this, it's like, all right, we're locked in, and cross your fingers type thing. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and I'm sure you'll hear more about it in the coming weeks, in terms of maybe about things that went really well, some things that did not go so well, and what I would do different next time. But there is a general air of nervousness. Not like, on a scale of like, if Tarkov was like, a 12% nervousness, this is probably like a 12%, where it's like, all right, hey, look, if people don't like it, they don't like it. But at least we'll give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. My take is that I have no expectations, but I like it, and I'm gonna wear it. So even if no one likes it, I'm like, all right, well, it's I like it, and I'm glad we took a shot at it. So yeah, so that's kind of what's been in the works. You'll be able to check it out later today. It's officially gonna launch at 1 p.m. Eastern today. You can go to DANGHEESLING.shop. If you go there right now, it'll be like a screen that's, it's locked for right now. So yeah, so you can check that out. And, I'd love to hear your feedback, what you like about it, what you don't, what you wish you would have saw. But yeah, tweet me all that feedback. So speaking of that, I have some final preparations to do for the show. A couple things, I guess merch exclusive. I guess from here, what I'm going to do is, in terms of the rest of the day, because this is the rare air time I'm recording the podcast on Monday morning, just because I wasn't sure how I was going to release this. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it before it actually dropped. So from here, what I'm going to do is I have a couple more videos to record. I'm going to record. So in terms of how I'm going to attack this, like in terms of what I mean by like making sure everyone knows about it, I'm going to, post a video on YouTube. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do like a reaction to the store. I'm like, okay, that'll be cool. Like, people may enjoy seeing that. And then the other thing on the YouTube front, I'll have like a YouTube community post, a couple YouTube story posts, I'd say, throughout the week, like displaying and showing off the different items. Cause that was kind of the one important thing to me that I told Jay. I'm like, hey, the only thing is I want to make sure, like, I want to approve everything in person, like the quality of it, and also be able to have that in hand so that people can see it, and then I can use it like to show it off and different stuff. So I'll do a couple YouTube stories throughout the week, kind of showing off different products. I'm sure I'll do something on Instagram on Twitter, and then, you know, of course, showing the stuff off on Twitch. So a lot of stuff that goes into it. I just, like I said, I just want to do the best I can so that people that do want to buy it, you know, are aware of it. And then the other thing is too, is that, you know, I understand not everyone's going to buy it or necessarily like it. So I'm going to be very like, not critical. I'm going to be very intuitive in terms of like listening to people, what they did or didn't like about it. Cause you know, I don't know. I feel like anytime you do something for the first time, it may not be the best, but I do feel very confident because this isn't, and this is kind of like the hack, right? The hack is like, I'm not doing it. Like Jay's done, I don't know how many of these drops, and he's done them for other people too. He's done one for Ryan. He's done one for KY Speedy. So this is not his first rodeo, which is good. And I feel like that's kind of like a hack for life is if you've never done something before, like you can work with someone who has, because you know, you're just tapping into their experience, right? Like I didn't really have a desire to design merch and go through that whole process, but I know Jay is really good at that. I feel like that is like, he's super talented at it. So just kind of being able to work with him and trusting his thing, I think it cuts like a huge part of the learning curve off. And I think maybe to me, I think what the big learning curve will be is maybe understanding like what the community wants in terms of, hey, we like this, we didn't like this, we wish we would have this, and you know, just kind of learn that for next time. So yeah, so it's an exciting time. A little bit, like I said, like probably 12% nervousness, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you guys know. Probably, so the sale is gonna go for 7 days, and then that's it. And then so I'll probably let you know, maybe not next week, but the week after, in terms of kind of the update on that, and if you're planning on doing one, what I would do different next time and what went well. So with that being said, hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got shows every day on Twitch this week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/DanGheesling. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great one, and I will see you guys next week.